Hey y'all, what's up? My name is Todd Mitchell. You're watching my channel, Mr. 14, and I'm back doing a review of Put a Ring on It, Season 2, Episode 3. Yes, so my first two episodes I did on this. The first one I did on my live. So if you subscribe to my channel, Mr. 14, and check my live stream playlist, under Mr. Talks, then you will get the Put a Ring on It review I did this current season. Also, the second episode, I did it on my Instagram. So just ticker down below. Please follow my Instagram as Mr. Grown, and you can catch on some of the reviews I do on other shows that I may not do on YouTube. So y'all catch me there, and y'all get more feedback and opinion. Because sometimes I don't have enough time to do recording and editing every review for YouTube. So sometimes I do it on Instagram to get more interaction with my people and stuff like that. So follow my Instagram, Mr. Grown. Follow my Twitter, Thomas_Grown. Please like, comment, subscribe to my channel, or also share my videos out there. Please share. It will help me grow and everything. I appreciate everyone, the support and the appreciation, the comments, the love. You don't know how much it means to me. I mean, I did YouTube started 2 years ago and it's growing. So I appreciate all that. All right, so put a ring on it. Y'all here for this, and let's get to it. So I'm gonna post the pictures of the cast, so y'all have reference to who I'm talking to, who I'm talking about. All right. So this right here is Dr. Nicola Beach. She's the therapist, the relationship expert of the show. Right next to it is Jessica and Eric. So if you hear Jessica Eric, this is the couple right here. Next to Jessica Eric, we got Alexa and Darian. So those two. And then the last couple right here in this corner is Sean and LaWanda. Okay? So Dr. Nicole said that this week, all the couples will go on dates at the same time and at the same location. Once again, at the same time, at the same location. They didn't do this last season. So it's interesting to see how the people interact. Will they focus on their date only, or will they really can't focus on their date and focus on what their partner is doing? Do you trust your partner enough to understand that they will be respectful and they will respect the relationship and also respect you in the process, but at the same time growing and be into the exercise? And it's also is about trust and self-assurance. Are you sure enough within your own self that you could be responsible in this date? Can you be held accountable of your actions and know what you're doing and know what you're not going to do to upset your relationship currently? And do you trust your partner enough? Do you trust them to make good decisions? Do you trust them to be respectful? And not only to themselves, but to the process and to with each other in your relationship. So this is what the whole process is. All right. So everyone's going on new dates except for Darian. Darian on who won is the only one who said yes to the second date to Kai. Right? If y'all follow my live, I did show what Kai looked like. I ain't do no pictures of the dates this time because it's my first time doing a pre-recorded version of the live of this show. So I wanted to do that, and probably in the future I might do dates or pictures if I do lives. All right. So Jessica's date is named is Clarence. He's a real good-looking man, kind of similar to what Eric like. He resembles Eric a little bit, but he's well brolic, muscle bound. You can feel about his shirt and his clothes that he wear. It's form-fitting in his body. He seems a well-mannered guy. He's respectful. He's good. I didn't understand. I didn't get what he does. I think he does something in the fitness, something to train on, something like that. He does something in that realm, and that's that. And Eric's date was Tynesha, and she's a good-looking girl and everything. So they went on a date together, and Jessica went on her date first. So she met Clarence, and they had a good conversation. They had a good time. He generally wanted to know about her, trying to understand her, listen to her, and see how it goes. He said he don't like to argue. He would like to talk and everything, because sometimes arguments doesn't help the situation. It'd be easier if you could sit down and have a discussion, a conversation with the person. So she had that. She had a good time with Clarence. When Eric rolled in with his date, she was focused a little bit on his date. And all stuff, see what he's doing on stuff. And she was kind of bothered that Eric was not focused on her date or what she's doing. He was more in tune of what Tanisha was saying because he was sitting there, and it's funny, y'all. I kept looking at Eric's hair. Cause if y'all seen this episode, Eric had he got like a short haircut, right? It's dark hair, and it's light in the middle, like he's like a fade or something. And then on the back, the camera kept zooming in his freaking hair. I was like, oh my gosh, Eric, you losing hair. You need to get some hair loss. In the back, he got a big circle bald spot. I was like, oh my gosh. So he's light hair, bald spot hair, dark little hair. I said, something wrong with that hairstyle. You need to do something with that hair, Eric, because this look crazy. But he's an attractive dude. But that hair, I was like, oh my God. So he walked in, and he was mainly in tune with the conversation. She was giving it. She's drinking. She had no filter. It's like they had a good conversation. Like he was so in tune that he was nowhere near focusing on what Jessica was doing. And that's the part of the exercise. You need to focus on your date and not worry about your other person doing. And do you trust your partner enough to do their date and when you just focus on yours? And that's what he was doing. He was having a good time. He said he wants someone to nightly make him realize that Jessica in the other room. He did tell Tanisha that his girlfriend was over there. And she's like, oh, okay. And it's awkward. And they both, and also Clarence was able to see who Eric is because Clarence came to the house. So he saw Eric and they had a good conversation. Not a conversation. They talked. They was real man and they had no beef. Eric was very cool with it. He wasn't tripping like he did last time. And he tried to make it focus and do different things differently because she said you got to do things differently. Check your insecurities, know what your insecurities are, and respond differently. And that's what he's trying to do. He responded differently this time. The last time he slammed the door in the person's face and all that stuff, but this time he didn't do it. So that's that. So when she would get up to leave, she was kind of taken back that he was not focusing or he would watch or he would tilt his head to her direction while she was leaving. She was bothered by that because she wanted to know her man was a little jealous enough to worry while she's leaving and look at her, who she living with. I mean, he's seen her, but at the same time, he was not worried about it because he was focused on his own date. So I said, oh, okay. So she was bothered about that. So later on, when they went to the house, she said, oh, what's going on? He came in a big Kool-Aid smile. Big Kool-Aid smile. Like he was happy. Oh, what's going on? What's going on? Try to give her a hug and kiss. She said, oh, what's going on? You trying to make that little brand different, brand new. And he sat down. She said, what's going on? And he gave him the honesty. And that's what she wanted. But at the same time, she felt like he was too honest. He was saying that, yo, she gave me one of the best conversations I have. Not one of those, probably the best conversation he ever had. And she said, oh my gosh, we have a lot of deep conversations before. And I think the conversation was good. And then you say she had the best, you probably putting too much on 10 in this conversation. I said, how you know? Maybe he felt like you not giving depth in your conversations. Yes, you might have deep conversations, but how deep the other conversations? Are they superficial deep? That you think is deep, but it's superficial and it's surface level? Or are you really getting deep down into nitty gritty? Because y'all said y'all have trust and communication issues. So if you have communications issues, you have trust issues. Obviously, the communication is not that deep or trustworthy that you could say that you get something meaningful out of the conversations. So basically, what I'm seeing that y'all conversations, y'all relationship is more physicality, and not so much of emotional connections and mental connections and stuff like that. So we gotta get deeper down there. You gotta get deeper if you want this relationship to last. And he's saying that he being honest and all that stuff, but he said he was able to happen to connect with someone, more than the physical. And she was like, oh wow. And she's kind of worried because now it's like he not really talking about physical and smashing and stuff like that. And she's worried about, damn, a woman could give him something that I thought that I was giving him. and I might not give him all the tools that he expecting, and that put me in worry because some other woman could do that for him. And now she's in a bubble. Like she started crying. He couldn't do anything. He was sitting there just watching and just standing at her while she's crying because she's taking it back. She said, "Okay, wow." I said, "What that means, Jessica?" Like, oh, she said, "Duly noted. I understand." I said, "But I hope you understand to not to get an attitude. I hope you understand to know that he's telling you something that could better your relationship. I think he's saying that your conversations, your communication is not deeper. It's surface level. And he wanted more than physical with you. So y'all had to dig deeper than that. And that's what it is. And so that was that. So I'll get to later on about the decision when they had that group conference. Next, we go to Alexia and Darian. Darian went on a second date with Kai, so that was cool, all that stuff. And Alexia, well, her date. Alexia's date name is Desi. He was cool and everything, nice nigga guy and everything, and then he was flirting with her, and stuff like that. She came inside the restaurant. Now, Darian and Kai was there first. And he did mention that how she will be there in a date. And she said, "Oh, that's going to be kind of awkward," and stuff like that. And he said, "Focus on me. Just focus on me." And that was like that. It's all cool. And she don't like the fact that she is sharing him, or she don't want to be number two. Kai said, "I don't like to be nobody's side chick. I don't like to be the number two. I'm no one like that. I like to be the main chick," and stuff like that. I said, "But girl, you signed up for the process of dating a couple or dating one half of the couple. So if you don't feel like you should be the other person, then maybe you shouldn't have signed up to be a date in this kind of unorthodox situation." Because all these people signed up for the show to go on dates. And I could have, and also the people, the singles who signed up to be in the show, to be the daters. I don't think that's really the word, but I know y'all had to know that y'all are signing up to date someone who's in a relationship. Because when they asked the people in the cast, they said it's something different, but you never know when you find love. So they all understand that they sign up for the show dating someone who is in a relationship. Okay? So don't act brand new, Kyle, like you didn't know this was up. And now you feeling Darian. I don't know if you feeling him because you know him and he's a rapper or whatever. You could get your hooks on him and you're putting on strong. But the fact that you said, "Oh, I can't be number two," and all stuff like that, I said, "Well, you don't know yet. This is still process. He's still in a relationship, and you don't know what the end result for them. It could be with you. It could be with someone else. Hey, you don't know. So pump the brakes a little bit, girl, and let it ride. To be honest, both Darian and Alexia could not focus on the date. Alexia was worried so much about Darian, what he's doing over there, and she was mainly talking about Darian when Desi was asking her questions about her. And she said, "Oh yeah, I do love myself. I do like it." I said, "Girl, this is the second date that tell you to focus on yourself and they want to know about you and not your date." So obviously, you do talk about Darian a lot. You do worry about Darian too much. This is Alexia and Darian right here. Y'all know. This is Jessica Ellick. This is Alexia and Darian. You do talk about him a lot because on your date, you cannot stop talking about it. You cannot stop saying what he's doing over there, what he's saying, what he all this. Don't like that. Don't like that. He's all like that. He said, "Can you focus on me? Like I want to just know about you." But he kind of feel like he said, "Listen, you wasting your time with someone who's basically playing you." She said, "Playing me," and I think that kind of turned her off because it's like all of us who is watching it could say, like, "Come on, 14 years, girl, you wasting your youth." Yes, you've been with him since you was 19, 20 years old. But now you in your 30s, probably going to your 40s, and you really got to know that you wasting your time. If he not put a ring on it at this long ass time before already, he's dragging it. And stuff like that. So you got to know your worth. And Kai got up, and Kai was aggressive. Yeah, she pulled his hand because he couldn't focus. He couldn't focus and everything. She said, "Do you want to leave out of here?" And she grabbed his hand and walking out. And she did smirk at freaking Alexia, I said, Kai, you do the most, girl. You do the most. Like, you do the most. Because if Alexia was that bee, she probably would have got up and start beating your behind. But it's not that type of show. So she was very bothered. And she said, you got to let hands go. You got to let hands go. And I said, oh, girl, you was very loud. I said, let hands go. But she was grabbing it, and he had to grab the hand till you saw that he was trying to act like he was not putting his hand. No, you was grabbing the hand too, so like that. And yes, Kai was on one. I said, Kai, you something else, girl. You gotta be watching. You gotta watch out for that Kai. She's something else. But I tell you about their decision later on. But yes, they couldn't focus on it. Damien couldn't focus on his date with Kai and everything. They had to leave, and he said that's not a good date. That was kind of his worst date because he couldn't really focus. And Alexia was focused so much on their date, and she couldn't focus on hers. Even though he was a good guy, he was trying to get to know her and stuff like that. But it was a done deal. Now, LaWanda and Sean, LaWanda and Sean, this couple right here, they both on new dates. And LaWanda was ironing his clothes. Sean was getting ready, self-ready. And he just, I don't know, something, I don't know how y'all feel, but something about Sean is really rubbing to me like he needs to really get help. If he's going to help his emotional balance, his emotional state, I could see him be a very emotional manipulator. And he could do that. Because it's not just a physical. Some people could be very emotion abusive. And I think he could be that. And I think he wear his emotions so much in his sleeve, and it's like it makes LaWanda feel like she got to walk on eggshells with him. And she said that a couple of times, like she got to walk on eggshells. She's like she don't know how he react, how he takes things in, how he responds, what do he say, what's his emotional state. She had to take that all considerations, and it make her uneasy sometimes because she said she don't know what to do. She could step the wrong foot. They could walk in sync. If she got out in sync, he would say something. I mean, he might not do it in that kind of way, but y'all got the understanding. Like they could be good, and then one will slip, he will flip off, or he would not flip like an emotion, like explosive flipping, but it's a way that he would word his words, say things, make her feel guilty, and I see that on his actions and stuff like in this episode, and it make me worried. It made me really worried. And I don't know how y'all feel, but it made me really worried about Sean. Like, yes, he's a good looking guy. He's a good guy. But it seemed like his insecurities, he not want to be his father. He feel inferior. He know Wanda is a good catch and everything. And the fact that so much fear of losing her, he would do whatever he takes to make her stay. And it was chip. And that's how it starts. It starts small like that, y'all. I'm not saying he could be a physical abuser, but I do say he could be emotional abusive in a slight way. I'm not trying to say he is one, but I'm seeing the signs, and it's already coming off course like he could be controlling, and I don't like that. Emotional controlling too. So yeah, she was ironing his clothes. The date, Sir James came, and he said, "Oh, he sounded like a little pastor piece or something like that." He already planned on his date, and they came in, and he seemed like he was very pressed. Sean was very pressed, and I said, "This is gonna be like every week." Like, you got to do something different. Like, you got to do things differently. He was very impressed. He was saying smart little comments about the dates and why she's there. He said, "Oh, she don't even like guys with beards." How you know that? How you know that? You got to let a beard yourself. Like, you were downplaying that. Like, you got a beard and you say, "Oh, she don't even like guys with beards." Like, you got a beard. So, how she not going to like guys with beards? So, that was good. That went on a date. She had a good time with him. She had a good time. They had a good conversation. They were taking shots, enjoying themselves. Sean came with his date, and Sean's date name was Brittany. She was a singer. And he likes that idea that she's in the entertainment business because he's a comedian, he's an entertainer, or so like that. So he likes that Wanda is a corporate. She support him. She support his dreams. She's there for him. But she doesn't understand the struggles to work up and down. A person who is an entrepreneur, who is a in the entertainment business because it's not stable, something like that. And since Britney's a singer, she very well knows the ups and downs, the struggles of an entertainer because she's an entertainer herself. And so he likes that. That was a plus for him. But at the same time, he was focusing a lot on looking at Wanda, see what she's doing. Oh, because they was taking shots and they was laughing and drinking. Oh, she don't even talk that loud. She's not that loud. She take a drink. She's doing the most. I said, well, how you know? It's like, come on, maybe you wasn't giving much fun to her. And she said she not getting much fun in a relationship. And she like to have fun things. And that's why I was lacking in the relationship because it got too much stale and not being fun anymore. So she like to have fun. And you do say that Wanda is she's a friendly person. So she could get along with people, whoever she meet. Like she would go with the flow and stuff like that. And it seemed like she was joining a date with Sir James. And yes, he had a conversation, but he kept looking at Wanda. He kept looking at Wanda. What's he going on? Now, when they was leaving, Wanda was walking out. And Sir James, he did have like his hand in her lower back, and stuff like that. And he didn't like that at all. He said, oh, snap on her lower back and stuff like that. He's took him off the edge with that. Right then and there, he couldn't focus on Britney anymore. He was so bothered by that hand being on her lower back. Okay, so they had this group conversation and they each gave their own version, give their talk about what thing's going on. Sean, I put their names together, right? Sean and LaWanda, they went up first. And he was going on. He said, yes, he liked that. Britney was an entertainer. He's enjoyed it and stuff like that. But then he went off and said that I don't think she liked the guy that you bought for her date. He's gonna flash you a muscle bound, all that stuff. I don't think she even like dudes with muscles. I said, listen, you first said she don't like dudes with beard. And now you say you don't like dudes with muscles. I said, newsflash, you got muscles yourself. It's like, so she met you was skinny or something? Like you was a toothpick like this? Because you were very muscle bound yourself. And I still try to understand what is that stuff in his arms. Is his tattoo or he got engraved embroidered into his arms? Is it because he was in a fraternity or something like that and they grained, like still hot grained his thing in his body? Because that looked very pokish. So I want to know if that's a tattoo or that's something engraved in his skin. So anyway, must have bound. So how you gonna say what she likes or what she don't like? You make a decision for her. And that's how emotional abusive people tend to do. They tend to twist it and make them feel bad about their decision, what they like, what they want, trying to tell them how they feels. And I was saying, how you gonna say that? Like, and everybody was laughing. Daria, Lexa, Jessica, and Eric was laughing at what Sean was saying. Sean right there. They was laughing at what he was saying. And I was like, oh my gosh. And yes, it was funny that he come across with that. But at the same time, he was dead serious. And it made me feel pause for a while because she felt very uncomfortable when he was saying that. Like, I don't think she would like this like this. She said that. So Nicole had to get on him and say, listen, no. You come off and saying that you trying to control, you trying to do this thing. It come as she said, a tactical control action. Like you try to manipulate or try to decide what she likes, what she don't like, what she responds, and how she needs to handle things. Because it doesn't fit what you like. So you diminishing her date, you talk bad about her date, but then you also talk about her decision, what she don't like. So that's like dismissive kind of behavior. And it's called tactical control because you try to control the narrative how you want. And then we talk about her date, how things was going. She said she enjoyed it, she likes it and all that stuff. And now he mentioned about how going out. And she said, I didn't really recognize that. It happened so fast, it's like that. I wasn't know that. I know he was leaning to the side or something, but I didn't focus on that because I was having a good time and I was leaving. And he said, how you not gonna know? And he was getting, how you not gonna know? And he was saying, her hands in her lower back, and I ain't like that. And I was like, wow. Pump your brakes. Because now he's doing something different. He created this narrative like it's something different that is beyond that. Like with people who has this deep jealousy and insecurities, and they form things in their head like something gonna happen, that something that didn't happen, or his imaginative. Yes, he had his hand in his lower back and something like that, but it wasn't that much bigger the deal that he grew in that proportion like something gonna happen. Like she genuine like that, she genuine with that, and she didn't recognize it, or it was so like out of her mind. Why are you so hell bent? They said, how you not gonna know? It just happened. Are you gonna try to tell me my truth in my own eyes? Yes, you see something, but this is her reality and her truth. Maybe she didn't recognize it. It just she didn't give no thoughts about that, or even think that was important enough to even feel guilty about. So it's like you create this preconceived notions and these things about how you feel things and how you like it. You create this narrative and you use a fact support your narrative, imagine mind, and then you have your mind going and going and going, and what you think is something will happen when it's 9 out of 10 times and not what you think is happening. So Shawnee got that go. So when it came to the decision making, no, that was that, and then came to Alexa and Damian, how they both can do that, and you guys try to stop controlling things because Alexa having a problem with that. She want to control Damian. It's like, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do this. Y'all signed up to be a process to let go of that. You can't control the process. You can't control your partner at the end of the day. So you sign yourself in the show for a reason. You want to do differently. Also, you got to let go of the control and commit yourself to, at the end of the day, you have to make an important decision. Or you're going to stay together or you'll move on. It's like that. So Alexia realized she got to start controlling things and let things flow, because she's not enjoying her dates because she worries so much about Damian. Right? So that's that. And then Jessica thing is that you got to get more deeper. You got to get deeper than what it is. It's not just the physical. And you got to have depth in your communication. And as she said, well, I think he's this way, because so Dr. Nicole was saying, no, you paint this picture like you think you always got to know. It's always going to be this, always going to be that, but it's something different on the other side. And then you not understanding that your person grow. It's not the same all the time. So you got to adapt to that and fit the narrative. Even though it may be uncomfortable and make you unsafe, that is different, but you got to accept the fact that it's different. That's what it was. So when it comes to decision making, Eric said no in his date because he said even though he had a good conversation, it was deep conversation, that he's something that he enjoyed, he was not physically attracted to it. And he said he want more than physical attraction, but then you denied the date because you wasn't physically attracted to her. And on top of that, you had dates. It's something that you would normally go for. So he said no. But Jessica said yes on her date. She said yes to Clarence. So I said, all right, because we got to understand it, because the next day it seemed like he took off his shirt. It was a different type of setting. So it made us believe that she will go say yes to Clarence. Alexia said no to her date because she said even though he was a nice guy, it is that she couldn't focus. It's not something for her. So she said no. All right. Damian said yes to the third date with Kai because he said since he couldn't focus on the second date, it was not good, he would give a do-over with Kai. So it's like, the third date with her. I said early on, because usually it didn't go this early on last season. It take multiple dates before somebody was going on multiple dates. So that was that. So when it came down to Rhonda and Sean, it ended right there because when Rhonda was trying to give her thing, she was conflicted of worried about Sean and worried about how she feels and being her own truth. And Sean was looking at her really crazy. He was looking at her. Kept looking at her, and she was looking back at him. Kept looking at her. I said, hope you're not going to make a decision because of him. Hope you're not going to make a decision because of him. It's like that. And it stopped right there. So I hope she said yes and move on, because it seemed like he will say yes to Brittany, because it seemed like there's another clip that shows that he was in the booth, like she was singing, and he was there. So he meant like he will say yes. And I hope she said yes, because it would hurt her by always focusing on his feelings all the time when it's processed. She needs to worry about her and not worry about so much about Sean. And Sean got to stop letting go and get his jealousy out of control, because his energy was pouring something that make her feel uncomfortable to say the wrong thing. And I felt uncomfortable watching it. All right. Yes, I would put a ring on it, y'all. Episode 3, yes, it's kind of long, 30 minutes review, but I enjoyed it. I want to give you all the details. I appreciate you. Please like, comment, subscribe to my channel. Tell me how y'all feel about this episode. Tell me what y'all thoughts. All right? Talk to y'all later.